Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. I am just Mike. You are watching and you are listening to episode number 41 of The Rock Out Wild Show, where it's not just a show, it is a way of life. Now, if you haven't done so yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below this very video. You can also like or dislike this video as well, and share episode 41 of the Rock Out Wild Show and tell everyone you know, from your family to your friends to your coworkers to your acquaintances. Basically, tell everyone that you know about the Rock Out Wild Show in general, where I talk about a variety of things such as movies, film, which they are the same thing, obviously, television, music, wrestling, sports, anything in pop culture. Every now and then I'll throw in as well. Haven't done pop culture in a while. I will get back to that eventually in due time. And for episode number 41 of the Rock Out Wild Show here, as you see from the title, I'm going to do a bit of a different topic for the main event. And that is Milestone reached and a special message to everyone. Well, what do I have prepared? Well, let's just say this is going to be off the cuff, off the fly, no script in front of me, but I do have some dates and some things that have happened in the past. More on that in the main event for episode number 41 of the Rock Out Wild Show. And we're also going to do our usual stuff, like on this day for October the 8th in film and television, music, wrestling, and sports. It is September the 25th, 2025, as I am recording, sitting down, recording this episode right now. But this will be aired on October the 8th in just a couple of weeks' time. To kick things off for episode 41 of the Rock Out Wild Show, I'm going to react to an old movie review of mine. Now, when it comes to the 2014 movies, there's only very few left that I have to react to, including this one. There's only 4 more. So what is the movie that I'm going to react to my movie review for? Well, it is a movie called The Hunger Games: Mockingjay. This is either part 1 or part 2. It's either one of them. I will see from the title of this video. It is definitely, okay, it's definitely part 1. So The Hunger Games: Mockingjay part 1 movie review of mine that I will be reacting to kick things off for episode 41 of the Rock Out Wild Show. So I am going to start up the webcam so you can see my face as I am reacting to this old movie review of mine. Plus, I got the new lights going here. Thank you, Galvanic, for this awesome gift that is this light. This thing is the cat's meow. And oh my god, that just fell. I have this light on a tripod, and sometimes it wants to fall every now and then. Right now, I'm just trying to adjust this thing so this can work. There we go. Perfect. All right. I think we're good. I think that's going to stay. That's not going to fall on me. Don't ever follow me ever again. So let's do this. Let's react to my old movie review for The Hunger Games: Mockingjay Part 1. So, let's present. Share screen. Make sure the audio is on. And let's go to this review. Let's go full screen. Make sure I have the volume up. And let's react in 3, 2, 1, action. A Hunger Games movie with no Hunger Games in it. Who would have thought? Hey, what is... First off, I don't remember that music as my intro. Okay, I'm actually kind of taken back. I really don't remember who does that music. And I actually had that for my intro. I don't remember that music at all. That just goes to show you.
What's up, all movie fans in the movieverse? Welcome to the Mike McRock Movie Review Show. Right now, I'm going to review The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. What happens in this movie is that when Katniss destroys the game, she goes to District 13 after District 12 is now destroyed. She meets the president, who convinces her to be the symbol of the rebellion while trying to save Peeta from the Capitol. And this movie stars Jennifer Lawrence as Katniss Everdeen. I thought she was really good in her performance. She doesn't disappoint as the hero of the piece of this movie. The only problem is I wanted to see her kicking more butt in this movie. There wasn't enough
Yeah.
action in this movie, and the only thing we see from the trailer, from any physical action from Katniss Everdeen, is that shot in the air with the arrow. That kind of let me down a little. I wanted to see more action. You don't need action every 5 minutes like a Michael Bay movie, but ever so
No,
often,
you really
maybe
don't.
every 30 or 40 minutes, I wanted to see Jennifer Lawrence kick some butt. But I
Pretty much.
did like her performance as Katniss. Her delivery was well.
Hmm.
There wasn't much in the lack of character development from Katniss. I felt like that in this movie there were so many characters in this movie. No one really shined except for the star. And speaking of other people, you also have Josh Hutcherson as Peter Malark. You have Liam Hemsworth as Gale, Woody Harrelson, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Donald Sutherland, as well as the addition of Julianne Moore and Elizabeth Banks. I thought for the most part, they got some moments in, but I felt like that they were also underutilized as well. I would have liked
First off, I want to point out that is an incredible all-star cast right there.
to see a lot more, especially from Philip Seymour Hoffman because he has now passed away. It's really
Yeah.
sad to see him go. It's even Donald Sutherland. He was only in it for a bit. I think he is a good villain, but we never got to see his full potential as a villain. Even Liam Hemsworth and Woody Harrelson. I thought that Woody Harrelson could have been a little bit, could have been a lot more in this movie. And
Hmm.
when Liam Hemsworth done his role in this movie as Gale, I thought he was good. He was probably the only one besides Katniss that came close to almost shining in this movie. That's my only nitpicky problem with this movie is
Hmm.
that no one really shined as much as the star in this movie, and I felt like that.
To be fair, everyone is in the supporting cast for a reason. They're there to support the main star in the movie. I mean, that's the way it always should work, really.
The action kind of let me down a little. I wanted to see a lot more action, but what I really did enjoy about this movie is that this set up the second movie very well. This has a
Hmm.
slow build, the slow burn, it kept moving, it didn't stop, and that's what I really enjoyed about this movie. This is basically a 2 hour full length commercial of what the next movie is going to be. And this is one of those things
Yeah,
on your
very much.
depends on your perspective. Uh, if you really pay attention and know what's going on, you will really enjoy this movie. But if you don't pay attention and you phase in and out sometimes, you might be a little bit bored. But I'm on the side of good here because I think I done a really good job in delivering a really good setup piece. There were a lot of
Yeah,
speeches in this movie. There's a lot of talking in this movie,
a lot of
and you
talking.
would think for a movie that has a lot of talking, it would do some character developments, but it kind of done very little to none in that area. And when Lawrence Fishburne done that whole speech in The Matrix Reloaded, picture that only 10 times more.
Yeah,
That's what this movie is like. A lot of talking, a lot of speeches. It goes into the propaganda of what is going on, back and forth with the good guys and the bad guys, and etc., etc. As
that's
well
right.
as the music. I thought the music, for the most part, was kind of silly and goofy. I'm not sure why that is, but there were moments where it really hit, and it hit very well. And overall, this was a really good Hunger Games movie. Out of the three, I would say that this is definitely the most interesting out of the Hunger Games series, and probably the best. I thought that the first one
Sure,
was
yeah. I can see
okay,
that.
not bad.
Mhm.
Second one, maybe not as good, but the third one, this really kicked into high gear.
Yeah.
If you really understand what's going on in this movie, and I really did enjoy it. This entertained me. There was a couple of suspense moments in this movie, and I really enjoyed this 2 hour commercial. And you might be
Yeah.
surprised on what my rating is going to be for this movie. So, with that said, The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1 delivered 80 points. And if you saw this movie, what did you think about it? Feel free to comment below and tell me and give me your thoughts about The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. And also, with that being said, you can hit that subscribe button down below this video to get McRocked.
Yeah, so that was my reaction to my old movie review back in 2014 called The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. I don't remember much about this movie. I do remember, it's Katniss Everdeen, it's The Hunger Games, it's Jennifer Lawrence. You have that all-star cast, Donald Sutherland. I remember his role. Uh, very, very little I remember about The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. I'm pretty sure that if I did review Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2, I would probably I'm guessing I might praise that a little bit more. I'm not sure. And just on a side note, it's kind of like Lord of the Rings, so to speak. Only it's not 3 parts; it's 2 parts. I remember the ending of the second one kind of just dragged and dragged and dragged on. But yeah, that was my reaction to my old movie review called Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. I'm sure the second one will be coming up in the not so distant future. So let's take a look at some of the things that happened on this day for October the 8th. And we're going to start off with film and television. So I'm going to present, share screen, and let's see what happened in the world of film and television for October the 8th in years past. In 1927, the second 100 Years silent short film is released, starring Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy, the first Laurel and Hardy film with them appearing as a team. In 1942, comedy duo Abbott and Costello launched their weekly radio show. In 1944, The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet debuts on CBS Radio. In 1953, WTAP TV Channel 15 in Parkersburg, Marietta, WV begins. In 1958, KCOT TV Channel 7 in Alexandria, MN begins broadcasting. Minnesota. In 1964, Ringo Starr passes his driving test. In 1973, 13th Country Music Association Awards, Willie Nelson, Kenny Rogers, and Barbara Mandrell win. A little bit of music in the film and television portion of this. In 1982, MGM releases comedy film My Favorite Year, directed by Richard Benjamin and starring Peter O'Toole, Mark Lynn Baker, Jessica Harper, and Joseph Bologna. In 1984, NBC's premiere of TV Maids, The Burning Bed, based on Francine Hughes. In 1986, The Color of Money, directed by Martin Scorsese, and starring Paul Newman and Tom Cruise, premieres in New York City. In 1992, video game Mortal Kombat first released as a 2D fighting game by Midway Games. In 1993, Howard Stern releases his first book, Private Parts. No need to go any further. In the year 2000, musical Peter Pan starring Kathy Rigby and filmed before a live audience premieres on A&E TV. In 2004, Martha Stewart begins 5 months incarcerated at federal prison camp Alderson for insider trading and obstruction of justice. In 2012, the film Lincoln, directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Daniel Day-Lewis, is based on the biography by Doris Kearns Goodwin. It premieres. In 2015, American actress and singer Selena Gomez reveals she has lupus. In 2021, Nobel Peace Prize awarded to journalists Maria Ressa of the Philippines and Dmitry Muratov of Russia for their efforts to safeguard freedom of expression. And those are all the events and things that happened on this day in the world of film and television for October the 8th. Now let's take a look at the major headlines in the world of music for October the 8th. U2 scores their first UK #1 hit on October 8th, 1988. U2 celebrated their first #1 hit in the UK with Desire. The Irish rockers' 12th single appeared on the album Rattle and Hum, which featured both live and studio recordings. In addition to beginning a career landmark for U2, the high-energy track, built on a classic Bo Diddley beat, also broke chart records in the US, becoming the first song to top both Billboard's modern rock tracks and mainstream rock track charts. The following year, Desire earned a Grammy Award for Best Rock Performance by a Duo or Group. Also in 1988, Pink Floyd's 1973 album, The Dark Side of the Moon, ended its record-breaking run on the Billboard 200 after a whopping 741 weeks. In the year 2000, When We Will Make It Up to You, Radiohead scored their first #1 album in the US when Kid A debuted atop the Billboard 200. Their fourth studio album, which also debuted at the top of the UK charts, found the British group taking a new direction with their music. Moving away from guitar-driven rock, the band experimented with electronic and ambient music, integrated synths, samples, and loops with orchestral instrumentation. The broadly acclaimed album, which features songs such as Everything in Its Right Place, How to Disappear Completely, and the National Anthem, earned a Grammy Award for Best Alternative Album. In 1987, Chuck Berry received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The celebration coincided with the premiere of his biopic, Hail, Hail, Rock and Roll. In 1965, a band called the Fluorescents, featuring Bruce Springsteen on vocals, played their first official club gig at the IB Club in Howell, New Jersey. Tickets were just $1. That's right, tickets were $1 in 1965. Imagine that. In 1964, Roy Orbison took #1 spot on the UK pop charts with Oh Pretty Woman. The song, which would become one of his signature hits, marked Orbison's third chart topper in the UK, following only The Lonely in 1960 and It's Over in 1964. Speaking of It's Over, that's all the stuff in music, but we have some birthdays. For October the 8th in the world of music, we got Doc Green from the Drifters, born in 1934. Born on 1945 is Ray Royer from Procol Harum. Tony Wilson from Hot Chocolate was born on this day in 1947. In 1948, Johnny Ramone from the Ramones was born. Teddy Ridley from Blackstreet was born on this day in 1967. And, don't believe him, just watch, Bruno Mars was born October the 8th, 1985. And those are all the things that happened on this day in the world of music. Write that one down. Now let's take a look at some of the things that happened on this day in the world of professional wrestling for October the 8th in years past. Here is a picture of Stone Cold Steve Austin giving a stunner to Kurt Angle, the referee. And it looks like Earl Hebner in the back there. In 1991, the York Foundation, Richard Morton, Thomas Rich, and Terrence Taylor defeated Dustin Rhodes, Big Josh, and Tom Zink to win the WCW Six-Man Championship. This was the last title change before the championship was abandoned the following month. In 2001, on an episode of Raw in Indianapolis, Indiana, Stone Cold Steve Austin won his sixth and final WWE Championship by defeating Kurt Angle, mere weeks after losing the belt to Angle at Unforgiven. Also on this episode, Booker T and Test lost the WCW Tag Team Championships to the Hardy Boys. In 2006, WWE presented No Mercy at the RBC Center in Raleigh, North Carolina. In the main event, King Booker retained his World Heavyweight Championship in a fatal four-way match against Finlay, Bobby Lashley, and Batista. Also on the show, MVP made his WWE debut with a win over an enhancement talent, Marty Gardner. And don't mind the sirens out there. In 2007, Hiroshi Tanahashi defeated Yuji Nagata to win the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. In 2017, we're doing a 10-year jump here. WWE Hell in a Cell took place at the Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. The main event saw Kevin Owens defeat Shane McMahon with a surprise assist from his rival Sami Zayn. The highlight of the event was the New Day losing their tag team titles to the Usos in a Hell in a Cell bout. The other title change of the night saw Baron Corbin win the U.S. title in a triple threat match against champion AJ Styles and Ty Dillinger. We have some notable wrestling birthdays for October the 8th. We have The Miz, who was born in 1980. Paul Burchill, born on this day in 1979. And the one, the only, the legend himself, Art Barr, born on October the 8th, 1966. Pick up sticks. And those are all the things that happened on this day in the world of professional wrestling. And for the final installment for on this day, we're going to do some sports. And I know we have a ton to get to here. So let's take a look at all the things that happened on this day for October the 8th in the world of sports. In 1818, we're going all the way back to 1818 here. Jack Brunton designed padded gloves first used in a competitive boxing match between two unnamed English boxers at La Chapelle in France. Correct me if I didn't pronounce that correctly. In 1887, Phillies set club record 16th straight victory. In 1888, British Open Men's Golf, St. Andrews Scotsman Jack Burns wins his lone Open title by one stroke from Ben Sayers and David Anderson Jr. In 1904, Vanderbilt Cup, first major trophy in America in American auto racing, is conducted on public roads in Nassau County area of Long Island, New York. Inaugural winner, American driver George Heath in a Panhard. In 1908, Chicago Cubs beat New York Giants 4-2 in a playoff win. NL pennant. In a playoff win to win NL pennant. Also in 1908, New York Giants set season attendance record at 910,000, broken in 1920. In 1915, Phillies won their first and only World Series game before 1980, beating Red Sox 3-1 with an eighth-inning two-run rally. In 1922, Baseball World Series, New York Giants beat New York Yankees 5-3 at the Polo Grounds in Game 5 for a 4-1 series win, Game 2 tied. In 1927, Baseball World Series, New York Yankees beat Pittsburgh Pirates 4-3 at Yankee Stadium for a 4-0 series sweep. In 1929, A's Howard Eckermy 7-2 sets World Series record, striking out 13 Cubs. In 1930, Baseball World Series, Philadelphia A's beat St. Louis Cardinals 7-1 at Shibby Park for a 4-2 series victory to retain title. In 1939, Baseball World Series, New York Yankees beat Cincinnati Reds 7-3 at Crosley Field for a 4-0 sweep. Yankees' fourth straight WS World Series title. In 1940, Baseball World Series, Cincinnati Reds beat Detroit Tigers 2-1 at Crosley Field for a 4-2-3 series win. Reds' second championship. In 1950, fourth NHL All-Star Game, Detroit, Olympia, Detroit, Michigan. Detroit Red Wings beat All-Stars 7-1. In 1950, Cleveland Browns played Pittsburgh for the first time, beat Steelers 30-17. In 1953, Birmingham, Alabama bars Jackie Robinson's Negro White All-Stars from playing there. Robinson gives in a drops white players from his group. In 1956, Yankees pitcher Don Larson throws a perfect game as New York beats Brooklyn Dodgers 2-0 in Game 5 of the World Series at Yankee Stadium. In 1957, Brooklyn Dodgers announced move to Los Angeles. In 1958, Braves Eddie Matthews strikes out for World Series record 11th time. In 1959, Baseball World Series, LA Dodgers beat Chicago White Sox 9-3 at Cosmic Park to claim championship. 4-2, MVP Dodgers pitcher Larry Sherry. In 1960, third Rugby League World Cup, Great Britain beats Australia 10-3. In 1961, American Phil Hill's Ferrari team does not participate in season-ending U.S. Grand Prix at Watkins Glen, having already clinched World Drivers' Championship. English driver in its Ireland with Lotus' first ever Grand Prix. In 1961, also, New York Yankee pitcher Whitney Ford breaks Babe Ruth's record of 29 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings in the World Series. He goes on to extend the streak to 33 2/3, which stands until 2000. In 1972, despite retiring with suspension trouble at the U.S. Grand Prix at Watkins Glen, Emerson Fittipaldi becomes first Brazilian to win the Formula One World Drivers' Championship, wins by 60 points from Jackie Stewart. In 1972, Harold Carmichael. In 1972, Harold Carmichael begins NFL streak of 127 consecutive game receptions. Also in 72, MLB Detroit Tiger pitcher Laron LaGrow and Oakland A's shortstop Bert Campernitz, each fined and suspended with Campaigner's flung his bat at the mound after getting hit by a pitch. Now, in 1973, MLB LCS Game 3 interrupted by brawls spawned by a fight between Cincinnati Reds Pete Rose, which is no surprise, and New York Mets Bud Harrelson at Shea Stadium in New York. In 1975, San Antonio Spurs, then members of the ABA, defeat the NBA's Atlanta Hawks 109-107 in the first basketball game ever played in the Louisiana Superdome. And no, not the Silverdome. Oh, brother. In 1977, the largest baseball crowd in pens. 64,924 see Dodgers beat Phillies 4-1 in a fourth NL championship game. Dodgers win the pennant. Also in 1977, MLB National League Championship. Los Angeles Dodgers beat Philadelphia Phillies 3-1. In 1978, American Mario Andretti in a Lotus finishes 10th in the season-ending Canadian Grand Prix at Ely Notre Dame Circuit, but wins his first Formula One World Drivers' Championship by 13 points from Rodney Peterson. In 1978, Yanks win third straight AL Championship, all against Kansas City. In 1982, New Jersey Devils' first NHL victory beats New York Rangers 3-2 at Meadowlands. Also in 1983, MLB American League Championship, Baltimore Orioles beat Chicago White Sox 3-1. Also in 1983, MLB National League Championship, Philadelphia Phillies beat Los Angeles Dodgers 3-1. Also in 1983, Washington Capitals' first NHL overtime game, losing to New York Islanders 8-7. In 1989, MLB American League Championship, Oakland Athletics beat Toronto Blue Jays 4-1. Also in 89, Oakland beats Toronto 4-3 in Game 5 to advance to the World Series. In 1992, Ottawa Senators' first NHL game. In 1994, 64th college football, 6th? No, not 64th, 6th. Write that one down too. In 1994, 6th college football Holy War, Boston College beats Notre Dame 30-11 in Chestnut Hill. In 1995, Dolphins Dan Marino breaks Tarkenton's NFL career completions record. Just don't talk about him with Ace Ventura. Just saying. And also in 95, Edgar Martinez drives home the tying and winning runs to rally the Mariners to a 6-5 win in the bottom of the 11th, beating the Yankees to win the AL Division Series. In the year 2000, German Ferrari driver Michael Schumacher wins Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka to clinch his third and first of 5 straight F1 World Drivers' Championships. Also in 2000, Solheim Cup Women's Golf, Lodge Lomond GC Europe regains Cup 14.5 to 11.5. Karen Koch holds winning putt, coming back from 3 down to beat Michelle Redmond. In 2005, NHL great Wayne Gretzky gets his first win as a coach as the Phoenix Coyotes beat the Minnesota Wild 2-1 at Jobbing.com Arena in Phoenix. In 2011, Irish professional darts player Brendan Dolan plays first perfect 9 dart game on TV in semifinal against James Wade at PDC World Darts Championship in Dublin. In 2016, New Zealand roots South Africa 15-7-14 in Durban to win the 4th Rugby Championship. Undefeated, All Blacks score 9 tries to 1, 2 each to Israel Dag, TJ Perneria, and Bayudin Barrett. In 2018, New Orleans quarterback Drew Brees becomes NFL's all-time leader in passing yards. Needs 201 yards to pass Peyton Manning's record. Gets 363 and 3 TDs in Saints 43-19 win versus Washington Redskins at the Superdome. Again, not the Silverdome. Oh, brother. Also in 2018, Red Sox utility Brock Holt becomes first MLB player to hit for the second in postseason game during Boston's 16-1 Game 3 rout of the New York Yankees in the AL Division Series at Yankee Stadium. In 2023, Dutch driver Max Verstappen scores his 14th win of the F1 season with a dominant victory in the Qatar Grand Prix at the Lusail circuit, clinches his 3rd consecutive Formula One title. And also in 2023, South Australia cricket batsman Jack Fraser Gurrick beats A.B. de Villiers' 2015 record for the fastest century in a List A game, plundering a 29-ball 100 against Tasmania in an Adelaide out on 125 from 38 balls. Those are all the things that happened on this day in the world of sports. We're now 34 and a half minutes in, and I think it is time to talk about what is in the title of this very video. And that is Milestone reached, and a special message to everyone. For this, though, I am going to open up the webcam so you can see me as I'm actually talking about this and going over some of the things here. So, as you see from the title of this episode, it says Milestone Reached. Now, you're probably wondering, Mike, what is the milestone? No, what is this different topic that you're doing? Well, I'll tell you what the milestone is. Episode 41 of the Rock Out Wild show, to me, is very important. And why is this important? Well, this isn't important because this is the longest time officially, as of this episode, that I've been doing a consistent show week in and week out. What I mean by this is that I have done live streams. I've done spin-offs of live streams in the past years. And they all went through various names, which I will get to in just a little bit here. And it all started in the fall of 2018, and it ended in late December of 2021. I've done 40 episodes of a show that was not really consistent at all. And I will also get into that in just a bit. But as for the name, well, it all started on August 30th, 2018, when I had my very first episode of something called Open Mic Night. This was back when I was doing movie reviews, and I was 5 years in on this very channel as you're watching this video on. And this is also back when Google Hangouts was the key thing and not that StreamYard logo that you see over there. So Google Hangouts was, the thing to use back then. And the reason why I wanted to do a show and do it live and not pre-recorded like this was because I wanted to reach a milestone, that is gaining 100 subscribers, which I have done, and that gave me the motivation to start doing a live show for my subscribers back then. And I didn't per se wanted it to be a weekly thing, probably because I didn't quite have the passion for doing live streams back then. I was more so having the passion for movie reviews back in those years. So, yeah, when I was Mike McRock movie reviews in 2018, the first episode of Open Mic Night happened on August the 30th, 2018. And that lasted up to 40 episodes. And I'll go through the name changes as I go along. And it lasted for only 40 episodes. It wasn't a consistent thing. And this episode right here to me is very important because I finally broke that mold. I finally broke that shell. I finally broke that glass ceiling, whatever that looks like, of getting past 40 episodes on a show that I wanted to do. I've finally done that, and I'm glad I did that. And I'm glad it's the Rock Out Wild show that put me back into a journey that I'm going to continue riding this journey through the end of time. At least that is my hope. So let's get into the whole non-consistent thing here about my past live shows that happened on this channel. So, like I mentioned, Open Mic Night first aired on August 30th, 2018. It wasn't until November the 1st, 2018, so we're talking a couple of months after, when episode 2 of Open Mic Night aired. and I was going over Rotten or Fresh. Rotten or Fresh was the thing at the time. It was a cool game show. I was a part of it. There was a lot of people in part of it, and shout out to Cody and Ryan O'Toole for creating such a great experience for me and for everyone involved. It sucks that it's gone, but I really enjoyed my time recording those videos on Rotten or Fresh and hyping up, certain things that could have happened then that didn't pan out. Again, it's too bad the show never went past its final stage, but you get the idea. So that was episode 2. Now, episode 3, in the time gap there, episode 3 didn't come out until July 4th, 2019. So there's a big difference between November the 1st, 2018 and July the 4th, 2019. That's almost a year. No, not quite a year, but almost, between episode 2 and episode 3. And why the big gap there? Well, again, it's the not being consistent of doing a weekly show, which again, I wasn't really on planning to because I was more focused on my movie reviews back then. So that was episode 3, and then it wasn't up until roughly around episode 9 or 10 where I was a little bit more consistent. It wasn't a weekly thing, but I was a little bit more consistent throughout. Episode 12, which was on December the 19th, where I went over my top 16 Marvel movies. That was one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite episodes of Open Mic Night, and it's one of my favorite lists that I really took the time to work on and to build up and anticipate for. So, and then after that, I went through the name change with McRag Movie Reviews to Psychopath the Legend back then, back in 2020, and we all know how 2020 turned out to be. And of course, 2021 and 2022, obviously. So, episode 13 on was a show called The Rapture. It was basically Open Mic Nights, but it was just another name for it. It was basically the same thing. I go over topics that I love, and that was it. The episode was about roughly an hour, 30 minutes, give or take, depending on what I went over. And usually it's always the things that I like, anything in movies and television and music and film and all that sorts of fun stuff. So that was a good thing back then as well. That went for 19 episodes, The Rapture did, before it changed into The Psychopathic Corner, which was episode 33 when that came on, all the way up to the end on episode 40. And really the big project I was working on for The Psychopathic Corner was the top 90 songs of the 90s, which I had a really good time going over. Basically, The Psychopathic Corner was me working on that list. In that final episode, I revealed that list. So it was almost like a combination of a chill stream and a podcast mixed into one. That was the feel of the Psychopathic Corner, whereas The Rapture was more of a podcast and Open Mic Night. Before then, that was also a podcast as well. But again, it was all live. This is a pre-recorded as I'm recording this right here, but all the stuff that I've done in the past, it was all live. So on episode 40, back in late December, I had a few people on and I had a great time. What the heck was that? Anyway, moving on. So yeah, I went live from my final episode for episode 40 of The Psychopathic Corner, back when I was still mixed Psychopath the Legend. And I had a good time. I had people on there, and we just had a blast. And then that was pretty much it for the time being, because that was roughly around the time when the things were starting to go a little bit more downhill. I was losing a passion for other things. If you've seen my state of the YouTube channel address video, you'll see all the details. I'm not going to go over it here, but you will see all the details in that video. I will either post the link to that video, to that very video, in the description after. And so that was pretty much all that I've done when it comes to open mic nights, the Rapture, the Psychopathic Corner, all the stuff that I've done live in the previous years on this channel. And it was only for 40 shows, but this is episode 41. This finally broke the mold. This is more of a consistent thing, where this isn't every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern type of show. That is the feel that I want. That is the feel that I got. And I'm going to continue doing this. I'm going to continue riding this wave. That is the Rock Out Wild Show in the future. Now, I do want to announce that episode 44 of the Rock Out Wild Show will be a Halloween special. I almost lost what the title of this show was, because I was thinking about the other three for a minute. So, somewhere in October, I forget what date it's on. It's probably, let's see here. I got the calendar up. So October the 29th will be episode 44 of the Rock Out Wild Show. And it's going to be a Halloween special. I'm going to try to do a few things that are a little bit more Halloween related instead of some of the usual stuff. I'm going to try to cook up something, and we'll see about that. Also, the very final episode of the Rock Out Wild Show, which will probably be either episode 50 or 51, somewhere around there, I am going to review a movie called Heat, and it's directed by Michael Mann, starring Al Pacino, Robert De Niro. I'm looking forward to that as well. So that's pretty much all that I have. I've finally reached a milestone, and I want to deliver a special message for you all right here, right now. Thank you. Thank you for riding this wave with me. Thank you for being a part of the Rock Out Wild Show, whether you're in the chats, whether you support me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I just want to say thank you to everyone. I really, truly mean it. That is episode number 41 of the Rock Out Wild Show. And I am going to leave you with a quote to close out this episode. And it goes something like this. Moments of peace and quiet are truly priceless. In the hustle and bustle of our daily lives, taking time to find serenity and calm can rejuvenate our spirits and bring clarity to our minds. Embrace these moments, savor them, and allow yourself to just be in the present moment. Whether it's a quiet walk in nature, a peaceful cup of tea, or a moment of solitude, cherish these opportunities to recharge and find inner peace. Remember, it's okay to slow down and prioritize your well-being. You deserve these moments of tranquility. This has been episode number 41 of the Rock Out Wild Show, and I am your host, Just Mike. And on a final note, to all of you watching, get plenty of rest and always do your best.